want to kind of give you a history, prior history, and also current history of the Trickster Spinnerbait. I know everybody, when you say spinnerbait, thinks the spinnerbait is a spinnerbait is a spinnerbait, and really they're a little more complex than that. The real why a spinnerbait catches fish, everybody has a different guess on that. It's obviously imitates, bait fish or a brim or something, but I had John Hendricks years ago designed this spinnerbait for me back when he was the owner of Lucky Strike, and it's a unique blade. The blade configuration is what I've learned over these 50 years is what catches the big fish. Is the blade itself. How much water does that blade, how much torque, how much, water displacement does that blade push out? Because anything that moves through water has to move the water out of the way, and that sends a wave out in the water. And a lateral line of fish, it hits that lateral line and it picks up, and they get a lot of information from it. How far away it is, how fast it's moving, and also an idea of what size it is. And this is where a spinnerbait can fool them, because you can put on different blades and displace more water, and you give the image to the bass that it's bigger than it is, a bigger bite. And big bass want a big, something big to eat. So they don't have to chase a bunch of little minnows around all day. And the most popular blade is the willow leaf. And the reason it's popular is because it's what I call user-friendly. You can put different size heads on your bait, and it doesn't want to roll your spinnerbait over, because it has a lot of flash, but it doesn't have much water displacement. All my big fish in my career now, looking back, were caught on a blade that would displace a lot of water, either a Colorado, or another version of this was called an Indiana. But it moves a lot of water, and it gives that fish the impression that it's a bigger bite than it is, so it will attract bigger fish. I like them both, but I always struggle which one to fish. So I wanted the flash of the willow leaf, but I wanted the water displacement of a Colorado or Indiana, so I designed the long drop blade. It's kind of unique. It's long like it's a willow leaf, but it's got the rounded end like an Indiana or a Colorado, and it displaces a lot of water for its size. And that's really the key. You can get a willow leaf to displace water, but you go the big ones and they helicopter and high wind and stuff. This doesn't do that, because it displaces a lot of water, even relevant to its size. So, but here's the other key: to have that blade, to carry that blade that displaces a lot of water, you're going to have the right size head. Most popular head is 3/8 ounce nowadays, but it does not carry a Colorado blade well, or this is my long drop blade that I designed. It doesn't carry it well. What you'll see here is this is actually a 3/4 ounce head, but I put extra weight under the skirt, so it's actually a 3/4 plus. I can burn that with this blade and it'll run true. And that's why I have that head. The head and the blade needs to match to be able to carry it. Anyway, John Hendricks made it for me, and then John eventually sold the company, and then the company unfortunately changed hands about 2 or 3 times in the next 4 years. And they, even after I left the company, they kept making it, but they didn't understand the proper wire size, and then they just weren't making the quality that I wanted. So I've gone back to John. I went back to John, and he's got a new company, and called Headhunter, and asked him if he'd make it for me, and he did. Some of the old ones, you can tell a few of the old ones out there, I'm going to warn you, they have red beads on them, but those are not the quality. I would not recommend those. So the red bead would be your caution, your warning, if you see some of those with red beads on them. But it's just good to be back with John. I've been with John, known John my whole career. He's been in the industry, him and Bobby Dennis, forever. They're probably more knowledgeable about the industry, fishing part of the industry, than anybody out there. To this day, they've been in it longer. So thank you, John. Thank you, Bobby. And this is the St. John Special right now. This is the exact blade configuration in skirt color when I won the 2019 St. John's tournament.